A 24-year-old man has been arrested and charged with fatally shooting a woman pregnant with his unborn son. I have to repeat that because it is by far the most important portion in this story. He fatally shot a woman who was pregnant with his unborn kid. Okay? And I'm going to tell you guys, my mentality at 24 years of age was a good mentality, but I had a good upbringing. So shout out to my father and happy Father's Day to my father. Shout out to my mother. I love her dearly. And all parents can do is try to raise their children the best that they can. And it's up to the children to make the determination for their life to do better, right? But nonetheless, I do remember that me and my daughter's mom, shout out to her, by the way, we did pretty good bringing my daughter into this world, but I do know that we had our moments where we did not see eye to eye. But I don't think I would ever do anything to her at all. But there were some moments where she got mad at me, I got mad at her. I get that. It's a very tumultuous time, especially when you're not living in the household with the person that you are getting knocked up, right? It's a very, very difficult thing to go through, especially with the climate that we are in now. When now we're in a climate, and even when I was 24 years old, we're in a climate where child support and consequences can kick your ass as a man. Matter of fact, even if you were 16 years old, 15 years old, if you are a male individual in America, you could be put on child support no matter what your situation is. I have heard that, and thank you for posting that in the chat. Say, I live in Baltimore, and this is getting bad. So I'm going to be speaking on something, and that's why I think that this is going to shock a lot of people, what I say, and I hope it shocks people in a good way, okay? This man shot and killed a woman who was pregnant with his unborn son and also killed her 3-year-old daughter, okay? This guy left them dead in a car that was parked on Southwest Baltimore, in a Southwest Baltimore neighborhood, and I think it was left there for at least a day, which is even more shocking why nobody had suspected anything or looking for this woman after that kind of period of time. It was almost, I think, like 2 days, but I could be wrong. The man's name, let me get his face up on the screen. Let me back it up. Let's back this up just for a moment. Let me show you something. What's crazy is he's brown skinned like me. He was about my age when I had my daughter. I had hair on my head back then. I'm not bald headed. I wasn't bald headed at 24. So there's a lot about this individual, minus him being an asshole or being a thug or whatever it is. There's a lot about him that reminds me of myself, which makes this even more messed up, okay? His name is Devon Sample, D-E-V-O-N, Sample, spelled traditionally, 24 years old. But this part was a little different. This is where we differ. He lives at home with his grandmother. Now, at 24 years old, I had a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment living by myself, taking care of my daughter. That's going to be where we have to draw a separation where me and this man no longer share any type of commonalities. 24 years old and lives at home with his grandmother, but has a kid on the way, and they live in nearby Beachville, and he gunned down a woman. Let me see if I can get her face on the screen so you guys can see the young lady that we're talking about, the young mother. Let me see, give me a moment. I have right here. Her name is Shiand, S-H-I-A-N-D, Shiand or Shiand Miller. And he gunned her down while she was 8 months pregnant. Ooh-wee. 8 months pregnant. That means she was literally about to give birth. And I'm going to tell you that is a crucial, crucial period right before this woman gives birth. Because as soon as she gives birth, what do most women do to men who they are not on good terms with? They usually file child support on them. And I'm not saying that that had anything to do with it. But what I am saying is that this proverbial leash that women like to, they like to whip a man with, tie it around his neck, and force him into being a father, whether he wants to be a father or not, after the point of conception. Because I'm going to tell you, women love to say that sex is a two-way street. And I do believe it is. It is. It is. It is. That's why I preach to my brothers to keep their dick in their pants unless they are ready for the consequences that come with it. Ladies, do y'all understand me? This is Father's Day, and we will keep men accountable over here on this channel. At the end of the day, the only person that you can blame is yourself. If I end up in a situation with a woman, it's because I chose to lay down with this woman, knowing that this woman in America has a hell of a lot more power and a hell of a lot more pull and a hell of a lot more things going in her favor as opposed to me. So if men know that we are at a disadvantage, then it is our responsibility to understand where we are at and to make better choices with our dicks. Heller. Thank you for posting that in the chat. Perfect timing. Y'all hear me? This is the perfect time for men to realize that we absolutely have to do better with our sexuality, meaning we have to value our seed. If you put your seed in the soil, it is probably going to germinate something. Okay? So if we know we don't like the consequences of what we are faced with right now, knowing we don't have very many choices after conception, then we have to be thinking about that before we start to get involved with any woman, period. All right, let's move on. Sample also allegedly shot and killed this woman's 3-year-old daughter, Shaniya Gilmore, who I'm assuming he is not the biological father of that kid. And I'll tell you why I think that here in a moment. Now, Devon Sample remained held Saturday at the Baltimore Central Booking and Intake Center, charged with 16 counts. He is charged with 16 counts, ranging from first-degree murder of the mother and the girl and to committing a crime of violence against a pregnant person. Y'all know what they call that? Feticide. Feticide or feticide, whatever you want to call it, whenever you murder a unborn baby. You know what they call that? Let me not. Jay, move on. Just tell the story. Online court records did not list a defense attorney, and he is scheduled for a preliminary hearing on August the 4th. If this man don't have private counsel, like I always try to tell people, you better get you some private counsel. I think everybody's entitled to a good attorney. And I just do not believe in public defenders. I had to email somebody over the weekend. They really hated the fact that I called them public pretenders. But like I say, I have my personal reasons for why I say that. Now, police found that guy. They found the mother. My apologies. They found the mother and her 3-year-old daughter shot to death Friday afternoon inside of her own gray Subaru. The car was parked on the 200 block of Boswell Road in the Westgate neighborhood. Neighbors had noticed that the woman inside wasn't moving. They actually thought that she was asleep. But when she didn't respond, that's when they called police, worrying that maybe she had overdosed or something else was wrong. Now, officers found 9mm shell casings outside the Subaru and on the back seat. In charging documents, officers wrote that they checked police databases and found the same Subaru had been stopped about a mile away last month with Devon Sample behind the wheel. He was pulled over for allegedly driving without insurance or registration, among other traffic offenses. So he shouldn't have been driving at all. Now on Friday, police went to Devon Sample's home at the 4800 block of Melbourne Road, where he lived with his motherfucking grandma. They went to his house where he lives with his grandma at 24 years old. You bringing kids into this world, bro, and you live home with granny? Not even with your mom. They said your grandmother. Just throwing it out there. That just sounds hella irresponsible. All right? According to charging documents, she told officers that the mother Miller and her daughter had been over there Thursday evening. So it's not like this woman didn't even know that he lived at home with his granny. All right? When asked for Mr. Devon Sample's whereabouts, she advised police that Mr. Sample was not at home. Whether that was true or not, that's to be seen. The officers told her they were obtaining a search warrant for her house. After being advised of this by the police, she advised officers that Mr. Sample was on the second floor. Woo! Woo-wee! Oh my God, I hate people that lie. Oh, I hate liars. Let me read this again. When the popo came and asked Granny, where was this little nappy-headed nigga at? You know what Granny said? I just don't know where he's at, officer. I just don't know, Mr. White Man. I don't know where he's at. He ain't been here, and I don't know when. I can't tell you when's the last time I saw him. Police turned around and they said, well, you know, ma'am, Granny, if you don't tell us where this little murderer is at, this feticidal murder is, then we're going to get a warrant and we're going to search your house with or without your permission. Okay's, Mr. White Man. Okay's. I'll tell you where he's at. You know where he's at? He's on the second floor of the house that I just told you that I didn't know where he was at. Ain't that a bitch? You have to threaten people with warrants and jail time just to get them to tell the fucking truth. So what that also means is that not only did she not give a crap about this woman who was just at her house recently, but she also didn't give a crap about the 3-year-old daughter that was also at her house recently, which further lets you know that she didn't give a crap about her upcoming great-granddaughter. Damn, Granny. Damn. You know why she didn't care? Because she lied to the police. Let's move on. A woman who answered the home of Sample and his grandmother on Saturday evening declined to comment. Of course. Now, Devon Sample, the dude who shot this baby, his unborn baby, and the mother, was arrested and taken for a police interview. Officers also recovered surveillance cameras from the crime scene. The footage showed that around 11 p.m. Thursday, a black BMW pulled into the block, followed by Miller's Subaru. Officers wrote that the BMW is registered to Sample, and they saw it parked Friday near his home. So I want you guys to understand. Understand this. That guy had access to a Subaru, and I don't know how expensive they are. Those cars sound kind of expensive, but I do know that BMWs can be expensive. For a man who lives at home with his granny, to me that lets me know that this guy probably was doing what? Selling drugs. Selling drugs. Hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. Does anybody want to post that in the chat? Does anybody know who came up with the hashtag when you date thugs, you date death? Oh yeah, that's right. The AFC. That was us. Hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. Hashtag hood hoes love hood dick. Hashtag babies for benefits. That's our hashtag. If y'all ever see anybody post that, make sure and tell them, hey, y'all got that from the AFC. All right? Now, on surveillance footage Thursday night, someone exited the BMW and went to the Subaru. A muzzle flash is observed from within the victim's vehicle, officers wrote. A second muzzle flash is observed outside of the driver's side of the vehicle. Then the BMW drives away, leaving the Subaru. When interviewed by officers, that guy initially denied being present at the scene. Of course, because he's learning from his grandmama. Grandmama? Grandmama, yes. He learned how to lie from his grandmama. Not even from his mother, not even from his father, if there is even a father. But we know that the likelihood of that being the case is not likely. Anyway, when interviewed, he initially denied being there, but then they confronted him with video footage because they probably told him, "We believe that this is you. We have you on tape." And you know what? What he did once he was confronted with the video, he admitted that he was driving the BMW, parking at the scene, and sitting in the Subaru with Miller and her daughter. However, Mr. Sample claims he got into his car, left the area, and never saw the victims again, which we now know that he puts himself at the crime scene, and that makes him guilty because at that point is when that woman was shot, and that's when the muzzle flashes went off. So he put himself there. Online court records show that Devon Sample has a drug case pending in Baltimore County, but no other criminal record. Oh my goodness. I just want to know, I just want to take a tally from the chat real quick. Let me see how many people we got watching. We got almost 400 people watching. If y'all would, click that thumbs up. We need 300 thumbs up, so it only takes a few people to be able to click that thumbs up. Click that blue thumbs up. I want y'all to tell me, how good am I at what I do for calling this out? Because before I actually completely read the story, I said to myself, for this dude to be that age, to have 2 cars, to be living at home with grandma, and just seems to have expendable money, to me that sounds like a drug dealer. Especially when a lot of these women are only attracted to these dudes that could provide inordinate things for them financially. They don't work any reputable job. They don't have any type of higher education. They're not the CEOs of some company. They are not the marketing managers or even supervisors of some companies. You know what they are? They are supervising the streets. They are supervising drug deals. They are the CEOs of the street, which they don't own. Drug dealer, street pharmacist, thank you. So I was absolutely right about what I said. But you know what's funny? What's going to happen is somebody from his side of the family is going to email me, and you know what they going to say? Just Jay, yous don't know what yous talking about. I know him personally. I knows him since he was a baby. He would never do something like this. Until you present these ignorant ass people with the video, with the evidence, with confessions, with written statements, and they realize, oh crap, I just lied. That's the way it works. Miller's own mother, Cherie Reed, which is right there on the screen. Let me go back so you can see her face. I'm going to let you hear her interview. She said her granddaughter was preparing to start pre-kindergarten. Reed said that the family was planning a baby shower for Miller, which is her daughter. Saturday afternoon, Police Commissioner Michael Harrison released a statement commending officers for their hard work and a quick arrest. I'm going to skip their statement. Let's go ahead and move on to the more important part. The killing of Miller and her daughter struck a chord in a city grappling with an especially violent spring. This year, just like the person in the chat said, for people who live in Baltimore, 152 people have been killed in the city of Baltimore. 24 people have been killed just this month alone. And 39 people in the month of May, which was the deadliest month since 2015. And I want to ask you guys a question while you guys are listening, because you can type in the chat. If you guys got Twitter fingers, you guys can type in the chat and let me know what you think about this. How many of those 152 murders do you guys think happened at the hands of your police department, at the Baltimore Police Department? How many of those murders are attributed to the Popo killing unarmed black men in the street? Just want you to take a wild guess. You can Google search it also. One thing that we continue to refuse to acknowledge in the black community, and shout out to the people in Texas. I actually was DJing an event yesterday where we were talking about, I think it was like a Juneteenth thing, and shout out to them. I appreciate them hiring me. But one of the biggest things that they talked about was how white people are the enemy. And look, I'm gonna tell you, I felt some kind of way, but they was paying me to be there, so I did my goddamn job. I'm just saying. But nonetheless, they were talking about how white people are the enemy, white people are out to get them, and the police need to be defunded. For anybody who's talking about the police need to be defunded, needs to be slapped in the fucking mouth. Let me tell you why they need to be slapped in the mouth and be told to shut up. For anybody who talks about the police need to be defunded, the police are already having a hard enough time wanting to apply. Good qualified police officers don't even want to apply for a job that won't feed their family. Huh? Why would anybody want to work a job that is not going to properly be able to feed their family? Why do you guys think that the school sucks so much and that we have underqualified teachers that are working these jobs and that substitute teachers are turning out to be full-time teachers? Because they don't pay the teachers enough. You know what? So that's why the school sucks. So if you guys want to know why the police departments suck, because they are not contributing to the pay to be able to take care of their families. If you want to know why there's so much corruption going on, it's kind of hard, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I get it for the corrupt police officers who come across all of these drugs, all of these money, all of this property, all of these things, and you're constantly thinking like, well, damn, like, here I am. It's hard for me to keep the fucking lights on, but you expect me to turn in $200,000 of drug money, of dirty money? Every dollar, every single penny of it? I'm not saying that it's right, because if you're going to do the job, do the goddamn job right. I get it. But what I am telling you is that temptation is a bitch. Period. For anybody and everybody. If nobody that's watching this stream right now has never been tempted to do something wrong, if your flesh hasn't been tempted to sin, if you are biblical or anything like that, if you're not spiritual, then I'm telling you, temptation is a very, very hard thing to deal with. Life is a very hard thing for all of us to deal with. Okay? And I'm just speaking from my heart right now. So when you talk about reform, what you need is better pay, better qualifications, and better training for the police, for these youth. Something that doesn't take a whole lot of effort. It does take money, but doesn't take a lot of effort, is taking your time, getting to know a man, and having standards for bringing in a qualified father into your child's life. How about that for a novel idea? That only takes effort. It does take money to take care of a family, but it doesn't cost you a whole lot of money to ask a man like this questions, to do a background check that's free to find online, to find out that a nigga like this has a pending drug charge, which you probably already knew about. It don't take much to find out that this dude ain't shit. Ask this dude a couple of vital questions like, where do you see yourself here in the next 5 years? And you look at that nigga and see what his response is going to be. What do you think that this motherfucker probably told her that he wanted to grow up to be in the next 5 years? Probably wouldn't have had an intelligent response to that. That lets you know that he's probably not a qualified candidate to be a father to your child. Therefore, if you want to have sex, cool. Don't get pregnant, and you damn sure don't have to go forward with a pregnancy. Not as a woman, not with having 36 forms of birth control, and not with having the ability to have late-term abortions, and not with the fact that you have safe havens where you can drop the kid off if you don't want to take care of the kid. And you don't have to have financial ties to that kid. Women can literally just walk away. They can walk away from all of their responsibilities. So there is absolutely no reason for this thing to continue to happen. Okay? Now, Miller's grandmother, by the name of Latrice Johnson, I don't know why they gave her name, but they did, said that her death is more than just a number. Oh, I know why, because she did the interview. That's why. Right here. The grandmother, which I think she spoke, well, that's the mother. The grandmother, I don't know. Whoever Latrice Johnson is, said that her death is more than just a number. I'm going to tell you guys why I personally believe, before I show you the video, and this is where y'all might get pissed off at me. I believe that the death of, let me get her name again, of Shiand Miller and Shaniya Gilmore, their deaths are merely just numbers. That's all this amounts to. They're just another number in that 152 murders in Baltimore. They're just another number. Nothing more, nothing less. You want me to tell you why? What is their legacy going to be? What change is going to come from this? When people reflect back on this, what are they going to say about the life of Shiand and her daughter and her unborn kid? It was tragic. It was sad what happened to them. And what happened to them shouldn't have happened to them. Well, you know what's crazy about it? Is the fact that it happened at the hands of another black person. Not at the hands of the police, not at the hands of the government, not at the hands of COVID-19. Not because she was killed by a drunk driver. Like, this is literally just a number. It is what we refer to as black on black crime. It's literally a thing that means nothing. Black on black crime means nothing. Crime is crime. It don't mean shit. Because you got to continue to keep fucking thugs. Uh-oh. Did somebody just get a little bit upset about what I just said? Let me give a shout out to our new channel member, Millie's Messy Nursery. Hey, thank you for joining the channel membership. Did somebody just get mad out there about what I just said? And somebody just donated. So apparently, I guess somebody out there must be appreciating my message. Her death does not matter because women like this are going to continue to have sex and bring children into this world by thugs. Niggas that ain't shit. So no, it doesn't matter. Apparently it doesn't. Me personally, I look at that little girl's face and I say, damn, that is a beautiful, smiling, innocent, potentially awesome individual. That baby right there, that's what gets my heart. That's what I get mad. That's what I get upset about. That baby deserved better. She deserved a father. She deserved a chance. She deserved a home. She deserved protection. She did not deserve for a nigga like this that was selling drugs to come shoot up her damn car. Over what? Do you guys want to know what she actually got shot over? Oh, I have a theory, but instead of me telling you guys a theory of mine, how about I just let you hear the news and let you hear what they actually said in the news on tape. Let me go ahead and give you guys the fair usage. We about to get it in. You guys might want to strap yourselves in because here we go. Let's get it. If it'll play. Is it going to play? I guess it'll play if I turn it on. There we go. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Here we go. Let's get it.
A makeshift memorial marking a devastating murder.
It's the worst of the worst, man.
It was here on Boswell Road where police say 23-year-old Shiand Miller and her 3-year-old daughter, Shaniya Gilmore, were found shot to death in a car Friday morning.
It's really no words. Getting a call saying somebody in your family is gone, and a baby at that, is devastating.
Families say Miller was also 8 months pregnant when she was killed, and now police say they've arrested that unborn child's father with their murder.
Angry. Who would do this to a child? A 3-year-old and a young woman that was pregnant. It makes no sense. No sense at all.
The victim's family distraught, trying to comprehend why this happened.
We got to be here as a family. It just is no words to describe how we feel right now.
Baltimore police have released few details about what they believe may have led to allegedly kill Miller and her daughter, but neighbors say the car they were found in had been sitting on the street since the night before.
I'm sorry we all lost. What justice gotta be done. Justice gotta be done, man.
Commissioner Michael Harrison says he hopes the arrest.
I have to give a shout out, and I thank my people from Baltimore that are here. Said Baltimore has a $50 million budget, and we still are one of the worst cities in America. That is sad. Thank you for the people from Baltimore who are here. That's a $50 million police budget. Thank y'all for keeping it honest, and thank y'all for keeping it real. I'm glad y'all are here in the chat. But let's keep going, because I have a very, very special video coming up. Y'all just stay strapped in for this, okay?
Can bring some closure, saying in a statement, "I want to commend the hard work of our dedicated homicide detectives for quickly apprehending the suspect for this despicable act of violence. I can only pray that family and friends of the victims and our city can begin the healing process."
We got to stop this. We got to stop this. It don't make no sense.
A makeshift memorial marking.
Guys, I got to take a pause for the cause, and I got to thank one person. Let me see. I'm here, and trust me, this is just one story. Thank you, Brooke Valentine, CEO, Secretary of Information. For all my people from B-More, Cassandra Lemon, thank y'all. B-More, stand up in the building. If y'all are tired of this shit, stand up. Thank you, Dre, or who is that? Miss June Bennett. Sorry about that. Let me refresh this chat. Thank you for letting me know. Sometimes I don't see the chat on the screen. My bad. Refresh. There we go. Guys, I'm going to be honest. I almost shit my pants when I saw this donation come in from Mom's Fur Babies. And she said, I hope you don't mind me reading. She said, "I wish I had $5 million to send you because you, I wish I had $5 million to send you because you and the cause is worth every penny. I love you so much for our coverage and inspiration to the babies and for the babies and the AFC team. Keep on keeping on." I'm not going to even tell y'all how much my fur baby sent. But I do know that everybody has $1, $5, $10. If y'all want to contribute, then feel free. Thank you for joining the channel membership, because that also counts as a contribution. And thank you to the people that signed up on Patreon. Every bit of that counts. But I'm going to tell y'all, Mom's Fur Babies is kicking ass and taking names. I can't even tell y'all how much she sent, and it doesn't matter. Mom, I love you, and thank you so much for continuing to have my back, because we're going to speak the truth, even if it becomes the death of me. I know people out there have sent me death threats before for stuff that I've said, but to me, the babies are worth me speaking from my heart, okay? I can take it. I'm a grown man, and I know how to defend myself physically, and I have my gun license and training. If people want to run up, guess what? I ain't going to go by myself. I'm just letting you know. For real. Thank you, Mom. I love you so much for that. Let's keep going.
A devastating murder.
This is a senseless killing. I have lost my daughter, my grandchildren, an unborn that I would never ever see anymore. She means so much to me. She shared many stories, the things that she wanted to do in life. She wanted to be a hairstylist. My grandbaby, Naya, very playful, always smiling, laughing. I would never get to see her ever again. I would never get to see Naya playing, hearing her voice, talking, Granny. But this senseless killing needs to stop. I would never imagine my daughter being on Murder Inc. And I just need justice for my daughter, for my family, for me to be at peace in my heart, my mind, my body, and my soul. Have justice for my children.
I could barely brush my teeth this morning.
So there's the grandmother right there. Okay, so I didn't know that she was on here also. But she said, the mother said that she never saw her daughter ending up in a situation like this. Really? And I hear that Baltimore is one of the worst cities for this type of violence, for thug and drug dealer violence. Not gun violence, but y'all know I like to call it nigga violence. Because guns don't do anything. Criminals are the ones that perpetuate the violence, not the guns themselves. They're just tools. It's just like a knife sitting in a drawer. A knife sitting in a drawer don't mean shit until somebody who is deranged and upset grabs that knife and does something stupid with it. You dig? Hashtag when you date thugs, you date death. So if you're dating a drug dealer, how did you not expect for some shit to go wrong? Yes, Dre, I heard about that. Did y'all hear about all them kids that got shot in Chicago over the weekend? During Juneteenth and during all of this Black Lives Matter and protest of George Floyd and all this other stupid shit, and niggas couldn't stop killing niggas just for one weekend. COVID-19 ain't got shit on niggas killing each other in Chicago. Hello. Let's keep going.
That's all I see is her saying, Grandma, I gotta spit too, Grandma. I need to rinse my mouth too. Like, I got so many memories of that girl. I don't know how I'm gonna go on without her. I needed her.
Please click that thumbs up. We should have 300 thumbs up. Y'all doing good? Please click that thumbs up, okay? Thank you.
I changed my life for her, and I don't have it no more. Like I said before, she number 150 to y'all, but she was number 1 to me.
150 to y'all? That's what it is, ma'am. Grandma. When you date drug dealers, you date death. When you date gangsters, you date death. When you date non-law abiding citizens, then guess what? You get what you get. And why you type of mothers don't teach your children this is beyond me. It's beyond me. If you know that the element that you guys live in is a dangerous element and people refuse to leave places like Baltimore, like Milwaukee, like Chicago, if you refuse to leave those places, fine. I get it. Home is home. I get it. But why can't you teach your children not to have sex with people that are doing these illicit deeds? Where's illicit deeds when you need illicit deeds in the chat? When they're doing illicit deeds, why can't you tell them to not produce babies by these motherfuckers? Is that too much to ask? Do y'all want to kick my ass up? Does that make me a self-hater? Do more people want to come take my life just for the words that I've just dropped? I think I'm just dropping wisdom. I think I'm just saying things that make sense, a whole lot of sense. Why can't we teach our children not to? I don't get it. I don't get it. You want to live there, fine, but damn, how come we can't stop producing with fucking thugs? I mean, golly. Just saying.
Number 1 to me.
A stunning crime in a city in crisis tonight. The search for the person who killed this toddler and the child's mother.
It's the kind of crime that Baltimore's seen far too many times before. The youngest and most vulnerable shot and killed.
The killings today pushing this year's death toll even further past the record pace set last year, with 150 homicides in Baltimore in 2020 so far.
I got to pause it on something else. But thank you, Miss Shirley. And thank you all of y'all who are listening. I'm going to read somebody in the chat said, my public school teachers did jack, but complained about their pay to us students. To come to find out they were in the top paid district in the state. Money ain't going to fix it. And I'll say this. I do feel you on that, because I am the type of person to say that you can't throw money at a situation and expect it to fix itself. But what I can say is if you're going to give more money for positions, you can raise the expectations, though. You can raise the qualifications. That's what you can do. So I kind of agree and disagree, but I do feel where you're coming from, though. So that's my take on that. If you give more money, raise the standards, raise the qualifications. And I think that would actually raise the, it would actually improve the behavior of those people, in my opinion. All right, let's keep going.
And we count the murders in Baltimore, but there is a name and family behind each and every one of these.
Keith Daniels joins us live right now. We spoke with the family of the woman and child found dead in a car. Keith?
Well, Kai and Mary, homicide detectives are busy with this one tonight. A mother and toddler dead, and the suspected killer on the loose tonight as another grieving family waits for an arrest. Take a good look. The young, smiling face of Baltimore's latest shooting victim, a 3-year-old little girl. Police have not identified the child, but family members say her name is Shaniya Gilmore.
Why would somebody do this to a child?
It's a family reeling with grief. Shaniya's grandmother, too distraught to talk, but her great aunt fights back tears to speak.
It's really no words. Getting a call saying somebody in your family is gone, and a baby at that, is devastating.
Police said they got the call just before noon on Boswell Road. When officers arrived, they found a toddler and woman dead inside of a car. Family members say it was Shaniya and her mother, Shiand Miller.
Who would do this to a child, a 3-year-old, and a young woman that was pregnant?
Family members say Miller, already a mother, was 8 months pregnant. All of them tonight victims of a stunning murder.
I knew something was wrong.
This woman, who does not want to be identified, called 911 after seeing the woman parked in the car for hours, but unresponsive. She says she had no idea a child was inside.
No. When they told me that, I was like, oh.
Pixie Chick, I'm glad you said that. I thought you said the other thing, but I'm glad you said that. Hashtag don't defund the police. Thank you. I appreciate that. That would just make it worse. Meaning you're taking more money away, meaning they have to work for less. Why would they continue to do the same jobs at the same standard and expect for them to do better with less money? Like, it's just... How many of you guys, let me ask you guys a question. While we're on that subject, while we got people watching, how many of you guys would continue to work at top-notch level in your personal positions? Let's look outside the police for a moment. In your job, in your personal life, if somebody said that we're going to pay you less and you're going to do the exact same job, work the same amount of hours, and work to the same production standards, how many of you guys would be happy with your job if they told you we're just going to give you less money to do it? If you ask me, I'd say, kiss my ass. I might just quit. But I'm definitely not going to give you the same level of production and work at the same level of quality for less money. Nobody would. Come on, man. For people who talk about defund the police, no, don't defund the police. That's dumb. That is dumb. Let's keep going.
I'm grateful.
A heartbreaking discovery in Edgewood, as neighbors say they heard gunshots early Friday morning.
My daughter came into my room and was like, "Ma, something's going on outside. I heard something." And I was like, "What was it?" She was like, "Sound like gunshots."
But it wasn't until later in the day, just before noon, when cops were outside of their homes investigating a double murder. The bodies of Shiand Miller, who was 8 months pregnant, and her 3-year-old daughter, Shaniya, were found in a car on Boswell Road.
And like, miss, she didn't respond.
Family members now left shaken and in disbelief.
It's anger and rage that somebody would do this to a child.
Police making an arrest soon after. Now this man, Devon Sample, sits behind bars charged with their murders. Police say he's the father of Miller's unborn child.
To the young men out here, you don't own these young women. You don't.
It comes as Baltimore City Council President and Democratic mayoral
Oh my God. Did we just have the simp come in and give us some... This nigga just dropped some simp jewels. Y'all want to hear those simp jewels again? Let me rewind that. Let me let y'all hear the simp jewels. Can somebody put that in the chat? That's our new hashtag. Hashtag simp jewels. Oh my God, he did not just say that. Let's listen to this again.
Are charged with their murders. Police say he's the father of Miller's unborn child.
To the young men out here, you don't own these young women.
What? Brandon Scott, Baltimore City Council President. Oh my God, who are y'all hiring out there in Baltimore? Maybe that might be part of the problem right there, right? This hashtag simp jewels. This dude is not on there looking to make change. This dude is looking to get some pennies after he gets off of live air. That's what he's looking for, right? Mr. Brandon Scott, Baltimore City Council President. This nigga is looking to get up in somebody's bed. I'm just saying. This dude said, these men don't own these women. You don't own these women. Why in the fuck would you say that? That has nothing to do with why this woman ended up dead, because he thought that he owned this woman. No, it's probably because A, he was going to be put on child support. B, because she was probably fucking somebody else and he got mad. C, because people get tired of being... I'm gonna just say this, and shout out to Tommy, because Tommy has said this, and this comes from Tommy, and I have to give credit where credit is due. Tommy says that men in general are getting tired of women talking shit to them and just thinking you can say anything and everything to a grown ass man. Hashtag simp jewels. Hashtag simp jewels. Men are getting tired of that. Fathers are getting tired of women just saying anything and everything to men. There was a point in time when women knew a place, and it was a good place for women to be in. Don't poke the bear. The bear is strong, and the bear will protect you. The bear will love you, and the bear will give his life for you. But don't go taking a stick and jamming in the bear's side. That's dumb. How about, do any of you guys own pets? Do you think that it'd be okay for you to talk destructive to your pet? If you had a big ass bull mastiff or a pit bull, do you think it'd be okay to slap the shit out of a pit bull or a Rottweiler? You love it, you take care of it, and that thing will take care of you. Yes? Hashtag sip jewels. Let's listen to Mr. Brandon Scott again. I gotta hear this. I gotta hear this shit again. This dude just looking to get some pussy after he get off air. Let's listen to this bullshit again.
Charged with their murders. Police say he's the father of Miller's unborn child.
To the young men out here, you don't own these young women.
You don't own these women. Clearly you don't own these women when all they got to do is call those same white police officers that they want to go defund and have them come arrest your ass because you're a half a day late on child support. Hello, hashtag sip jewels. This is some bullshit.
You don't.
It comes as Baltimore City Council President and Democratic mayoral candidate Brandon Scott supports a budget proposal to defund BPD by $22 million.
They weren't cuts to patrol. They weren't cuts to detectives. They were cuts to unallocated funds that you could essentially call slush funds that were just sitting in the budget.
Are you kidding me? Can somebody in the chat who posted that, I don't remember who posted it, can y'all tell me what the police budget is for the city of Baltimore? Can y'all please post that in the chat again? I think you said it was like, what, 50 million or something like that? Somebody please repost that in the chat. And also, let me give a shout out. Kinshasa Freeman said, continue to speak from your heart. Passion for advocating for the children and direct delivery to wake up the people. People hate to hear the truth, and she sent in a $20 super chat to say that. For the people donating to Cash App and PayPal, I'm gonna read those here in a moment. Thank you for that. Oh my God, are you kidding me? And he is in a position to be able to make that happen. That's the effed up part about it. I'm gonna let y'all hear this again. Post the current budget, if y'all would please, again, for Baltimore. And I'm gonna let y'all hear what this dude said he's looking to try to do. Listen again.
Father of Miller's unborn child.
Wow.
To the young men out here, you don't own these young women. You don't.
It comes as Baltimore City Council President and Democratic mayoral candidate Brandon Scott supports a budget proposal to defund BPD by $22 million.
He's supporting a bill to defund the police. So what are you going to do about these 152 murders? Oh my God, I hate this shit right now. I hate the world we are living in. People like this are so stupid. They're absolutely stupid. Are you kidding me? Let's think about this for a moment. You have 152 murders. Let's just say for the investigators, for the detectives. If you don't have the money to hire and pay detectives who are pretty fucking good at what they do, then how are you going to ever solve any murders or any crimes or get any justice or convictions in court if you don't have people paid to do those jobs like forensics, like coroners, right? If you needed to go catch a murderer, you're not going to have any money to pay the SWATs. You're not going to have any money to go pay 15 cops to go get some dude that's strapped with AR-15s and Dracos and all kind of other shit. Are you kidding me? You're going to go send them into the most dangerous positions ever in the United States of America to go get drug dealers, thugs, and gangsters. And you're telling me that you're going to reduce their ability to be able to do that by how much?
Men out here, you don't own these young women. You don't.
It comes as Baltimore City Council President and Democratic mayoral candidate Brandon Scott supports a budget proposal to defund BPD by $22 million.
Ooh, Lord Jesus, I almost passed out. $22 million? Let me just ask a common sense question for all my people in the chat. And by the way, I got to thank also Richard. Thank you for your donation, Richard. I appreciate that. Let me not sleep on that. He said, Ahmad in the beef sector, YouTube algorithm recommended your coverage of Lil Billy's story. I binge watched your content and it's clear that the work you do is genuine and from the heart. I'm honored to say thank you live. Richard, Doxy, let me see, Doxycology. I like that name. So Ricardo, thank you for your donation, a $25 donation at that. Let me shout you out and thank you for that. I truly appreciate that. Let me ask a common sense question. If you're going to defund them by that much money, where are you going to put that money? Are you going to put it into the school system? Where is that money going to go? Anybody have a question for that? We're live right now. Y'all can answer in the chat. If you're going to defund the police, which apparently you need them a lot, where are you going to put that money at? Probably into people's pocket like yo ass, huh? People like yo simping ass is going to have more money in your pocket and your salary. Your budget is going to go way up while the police shit going to go way down. Y'all crime is going to go way up. Y'all support for arresting criminals is going to go way down. Y'all ability to solve crimes is going to go way down. More babies are going to be dead in the streets at a high ass rate. And then by next year, if they go through with your plan, then your number of murders are going to double. And that I can guarantee it. If people like this simp ass dude, hashtag Mr. Simp Jules himself, if his plan goes through, then that number is going to double by next year. Defund the police and put that money where? Apparently, y'all have a crime problem with criminals, thugs, gangbangers, and drug dealers. Well, who the fuck are you going to call to arrest them? Ghostbusters? I'm just asking a question. Don't get mad at me. I'm just asking. I don't know who's going to go arrest them. What, you going to send Donald Trump in, the CIA? What, you going to send you're going to send the troops in? You're going to send the National Guard in? Well, y'all already act like you don't want the National Guard around in your cities anyway to stop the crime. The mayors have the ability to either allow the president to bring in the National Guard or tell them, we don't want you here. And they said, we don't want them to send in the National Guard. So who was going to arrest the criminals? I'm just asking, Mr. Simp Jules. Maybe you can email me, Mr. Simp Jules. You seem like a young man, probably a little bit younger than me, Mr. Simp Jules. Now you tell me you're doing this to better your community, or are you just doing this to better your pussy rate? I'm just asking a question.
They weren't cuts to patrol. They weren't cuts to detectives. They were cuts to unallocated funds that you could essentially call slush funds that were just sitting in the budget.
While praising the detectives.
Thank you. Shout out to Cece in the chat. Said they had a $33 million surplus out of $530 million. And you're going to defund them. It's just dumb. It's just dumb.
In the case, Scott says it isn't about getting rid of the police force, instead using the...
And for the people who are listening right now, guys, if y'all would click that thumbs up, get us the 400 thumbs up. We haven't even got to the good part. I actually have a theory that is going to prove my point about why this woman in this story. I know we got off subject, but I'm going to prove to you guys why I believe that this man murdered this woman, her kid, and her unborn child. Let's not forget that. So if y'all are listening right now, y'all might want to strap in, because I got that coming up here in just another video or two. If y'all want to hear that video, let me know in the chat.
Available funds in underserved communities to help those before things turn violent.
Talking about how we can reimagine public safety so that we get to some of these issues like this tragedy before they get to this point.
I know people in the chat are saying it's only a small percentage of their funding, of their money. But what I'm saying to you guys is, how do you get a better product from taking money away from somebody? That's what I'm asking. I'm asking a real question. How do you get a better product when you take money away from that thing that you expect to work hard for your dollars? What's the answer to that?
And police say while they've made an arrest, they still need the public's help. They're asking.
A chilling crime, a pregnant woman and her young child shot to death in southwest Baltimore. The suspect now in custody.
I'm gonna go ahead and skip to that video. Y'all have heard most of these news videos. I'm gonna go ahead and try to skip to that video.
A horrific story we first told you about on Friday. A young mother, her 3-year-old daughter and unborn son found dead in their car. The man arrested in the murders reportedly was involved romantically with the woman and is now facing...
It's gonna be right after this video.
16 charges. Devon Sample was arrested for the murder of Shiand Miller and Shaniya Gilmore. Charging documents revealed that Sample was in a romantic relationship with Miller. Miller and her daughter were found in her car on Friday just after noon in the 200 block of Boswell Road in southwest Baltimore. Both had been shot and killed. Sample initially denied seeing Miller or speaking with her at the site of the murder, but investigators said they had video footage showing otherwise. He later said he was there, but claims he left the area and never saw the victims again. Sample's being held without bail and has a preliminary hearing set for August 4th.
All right. For y'all that want to hear the video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it play all the way through. So here we go. If you're listening to the sound of my voice, this is where we're going to play the video, and this is going to give you what the motive is of why she is dead and why this man killed her. I want y'all to listen very close, and I'm going to let you hear it, and then I'm going to give my commentary. I'm going to play it again after that. So here we go.
Chilling crime being investigated after a pregnant woman and her young child are shot dead in Southwest Baltimore. The suspect now in custody and his connection to the victims. Good evening, I'm Rachel Cardin. The murders have rocked the city, and now we've learned that the suspect is the father of the pregnant woman's baby. WJZ is live near the scene tonight. Amy Kawada with the latest on the arrest and the investigation. Amy?
Rachel, this tragic double shooting happened in the 200 block of Boswell Road in Southwest Baltimore. And this morning, in memory of her mother and the daughter whose lives were lost, spray-painted words and images were left behind on the street where they were murdered. Family and loved ones are mourning the loss of a mother and her 3-year-old daughter.
It has to stop. A child. A child.
Beautiful little girl, very intelligent.
On Friday, just before noon, Baltimore City Police made a tragic discovery in this Southwest Baltimore neighborhood on the 200 block of Boswell Road. 23-year-old Shiand Miller and her 3-year-old daughter Shaniya Gilmore of Windsor Mill were found shot inside a car. Officials say Shiand Miller was also 8 months pregnant. WJZ spoke with the woman who made the 911 call after finding the two inside the car. She says she initially thought Miller was just sleeping.
Like leaned in and like, miss. She didn't respond. So I'm like, this thing, something's wrong.
Shortly after, the
Here we go, guys.
pregnant mother and her daughter were discovered. Homicide detectives arrested 24-year-old Devon Sample of the 4800 block of Melbourne Road, only a 5-minute drive from where the double shooting happened. Sample has been charged with first-degree murder. Police confirms he was the father of Shiand Miller's unborn child. Police have not yet released a possible motive, but Shania's great-grandfather says Miller and Sample were not getting along at the time.
Her and the new baby's father had been arguing.
This morning, Police Commissioner Michael Harrison released a statement calling the murder tragic and commending the hard work of our dedicated homicide detectives for quickly apprehending the suspect for this despicable act of violence. City Council President Brandon Scott calling this a gut-wrenching tragedy and hopes this serves as a reminder that there are resources available to prevent violence.
If you are dealing with things, intimate partner violence in your relationship, speak up.
Has been launched to help cover Shiand Miller and her daughter's funeral expenses. This investigation is still ongoing, and detectives are asking anyone who lives near the 200 block of Boswell Road to please come forward with any information, if they have any, from the night on Thursday, June 13th, to help with this case.
Thank you, Amy Kawata. You look very pretty, Amy Kawata. Now let me ask you guys a question. How many of you guys actually heard what the motive is? I'm gonna wait because we're live. Matter of fact, let me pause the recording so they don't have to watch it on the replay. I'm going to ask the people while we are live, what was the motive? They just told you what the motive was. Also, while telling you they're not going to tell you what the motive is. Woo! Y'all didn't catch that, did you? If y'all think I'm mad, yes, I'm mad because this woman and these babies did not have to die at all. I'm going to see if y'all caught it. Did y'all hear it? I let it play all the way through. I know people don't like it when I talk through the video. That's why I shut up and just played it. I'm going to wait and see who got it right. Let's wait. I'm going to type it in the chat if you think you caught it. Kim D is on to it. Look at what Kim D wrote. Cece got part of it. Millie's Messy Nursery is spot on. Look at what Millie's Messy Nursery, Kim D, and Cece wrote. That's why I always pause the video, because most people don't get it when they first hear it. Because I'm listening to this for the first time, kind of like y'all are. But I kind of heard like a pre-version of it, but I didn't listen to it all the way through. But I caught enough of it. Look at what they wrote. I'm going to play it again, and I'm going to see if y'all caught it. Singing with Charles got it. So I'll give both of y'all credit. Millie's Messy Nursery and Singing with Charles, y'all are spot on. So y'all win the prize, the moral prize. I'm going to play it again. Let me let y'all hear it. And let's see if you catch it again. Let's listen again.
Of Melbourne Road, only a 5-minute drive from where the double shooting happened. Sample has been charged with first-degree murder. Police confirms he was the father of Shiand Miller's unborn child. Police have not yet released a possible motive, but Shaniya's great-grandfather says Miller and Sample were not getting along at the time.
Listen, here we go.
Her and the new baby's father.
Let's back that up. Listen again. Listen closely. Matter of fact, let me hit the record button now. Listen real close, guys.
We're not getting along at the time.
Her and the new baby's father had been arguing.
Listen again.
And the new baby's father had been arguing.
Let's back it up. I'm going to play it again. I know y'all might be getting mad, but listen again.
We're not getting along at the time.
Her and the new baby's father had been arguing.
Did y'all catch that? MMO Family Girl said another boyfriend. Wow, another story about a pregnant woman moved on yet again. How many times are we going? Matter of fact, one of the stories that got a lot of traction on our channel, I'm going to look at it again so I can tell y'all which story to look at. One video that we got a lot of views on was the video on, see if I can catch her name. Gabriel Jordan, age 37, kills mother Shantae Singleton, 37, and her kids in a jealous rage. We got almost 50,000 views on that video. Y'all got to watch that video and find out why we got so many views. Because people did not like my opinion at all. Matter of fact, let me see. Let's take a pause real quick. Let's take a pause. Let me see. Ricardo said, Sierra Cass in the chat said, I absolutely love what you do here. And as soon as I can get caught up on bills, I'll donate and be a member. Great work I've seen done on here. This donation is on her behalf. Wow. You know what? Because of how much you because of how much you donated and because you donated on behalf of somebody else to make sure I got that message, I'm going to go ahead and mod you up. So now, you are now a mod over here on the AFC. So make sure and let the beef sector know that. So shout out to you, Ricardo. Thank you for that, bro. Really appreciate that. When you guys get to donating large amounts like that, then I generally will go ahead and mod people up. Because we don't have a lot of moderator wrenches to pass around. But when people support on that level, I absolutely have to oblige. And I thank you for that. Let me let y'all hear this again. Let's back it up.
We're not getting along at the time.
Her and the new baby's father had been arguing.
His exact words was he said that her and the new baby's father had been arguing. So what that means is that she was probably still dealing with the little 3-year-old girl. Let me get her name up here. She was probably still dealing with Shaniya Gilmore's dad. The mother was probably still dealing with Shaniya Gilmore's dad. And now she's pregnant by her current boyfriend, which is Devon Samples, who is age 24 years old. Now I want y'all to think about how nasty and disgusting this is. Shaniya Gilmore is 3 years old. Shiand Miller is was 8 months pregnant. So if you take away that 8 or 9 months, which is almost a year, that would make Shaniya Gilmore 2 years old. So in less than 24 months, you're getting ready to bring a new baby into the situation. And even statistics will tell you that mothers generally will have their second kid within 2 years. That's a statistic. Within 2 years, hashtag not all, but in 2 years, they generally will have another kid, which means that she was right on time to get pregnant by her next seed. So what this means is that A, that would give us a motive because he was probably mad at the other baby daddy. B, maybe this wasn't even his kid. Because the only way they'd be able to determine that is after the kid was born, unless they gave a DNA test on the dead fetus, which I guess they could have, but I don't know. I don't know that though. Maybe they did. And confirm that he is the biological father of this kid. But at this point, they're just going off of what they said. But if they were arguing to the point to where he wanted her dead, what do y'all think that they were arguing over? Let me let that sink in for a moment. Let me let that sink in for a moment. If this man had a baby on the way, what would cause this man to get so enraged and so mad at Shiand Miller that he wanted not only her dead, but the baby dead plus her other baby? Let's put our thinking caps on for a moment. Let's think about what happens in the hood. Let's put our hood logic hats on for a moment. And let's ask ourselves a very, very vital question. Yes, child support could be a very real thing. But why did he kill the 3-year-old? If you ask me, my personal opinion, she was probably pregnant by Shaniya Gilmore's dad. And the baby might not have been his, and he would have been on the hook for child support for a baby that wasn't his. So he was probably pissed off at that man. So in order to make that man mad, he killed his daughter, Shaniya Gilmore, who was 3 years old. And because Shiand Miller was the one who did him wrong, that's probably why his ass killed her. Keep in mind, he's 24 years old, and men are emotional as hell. Especially being 24 years old, full of aggression, young and full of cum, and he's a thug and a gang member and a drug dealer, or whatever you want to call it. He in the streets, he doing drugs or selling drugs. Y'all are saying that it was confirmed that the baby was his. I get that. But again, we're talking about hood logic. Hood logic. Why would Devon Sample, 24 years old, why would he kill her, her unborn baby, and the 3-year-old daughter who was not his? Why? Answer that for me. If he's working in the streets, then you ain't gonna get no child support from him. He already can't drive. He don't have a license. He has all kind of driving infractions on his record. He can't get a license. Child support usually will either A, put you in jail, or B, take your license, or C, suspend your business license, which he has none of those. So why did he kill her? Why did he kill her? You put him on, you put a thug and basically an undocumented worker on child support, it don't mean shit to them. That's why I say that he probably questioned whether he was the biological father. She probably said, or option number 4, maybe she probably threatened him and said that she had a new boyfriend. Women do that type. Women in these situations usually do that type of thing. When these hood girls have these hood dudes, they usually will say, I got me a new man. And get this man all pissed off because you think you can control this wild ass dude, when in all actuality, this wild ass dude is going to take it out on you and your kids by playing with their emotions. These hood women love to play with these hood dudes' emotions. Y'all tell me, am I lying? If I am lying, then I'm flying. Then why do you have 152 murders just in one city? So let me ask you guys a question. If Black lives really mattered, if they really, really mattered like y'all say that they matter, why can we care so much about George Floyd, one man who was killed by the police? It was messed up. We saw it on tape. It was bad. It was messed up. We care so much about that one life. But why does that one life matter more than the 152 lives that have been lost in just one city that is on a record-breaking pace? Why is it that the 30 lives that were lost in Chicago just over this Juneteenth Black Empowerment Weekend alone? They're talking about trying to make this a national holiday. Why make Juneteenth a national fucking holiday if you're going to continue to keep killing niggas in the streets at the hands of niggas? Preach. Church. You dig? Huh? But I'm the one that's wrong for what I'm saying. I'm the one that needs to die for what I'm saying. And for the people who were concerned that I get death threats, yes, I get death threats, and I'm tired of talking to these motherfuckers offline. Anybody who wants to talk to me, gonna have to talk to me. It's gonna be recorded. It's gonna be on video, because I'm gonna start getting you niggas locked up, straight up and down. I'm gonna tell you just like that. I'm gonna protect myself in the street, but if you're gonna talk to me online, it's gonna be recorded, it's gonna be on tape, and I'm gonna be able to prove my motherfucking case, because I'm tired of this bullshit. I'm tired of us taking out the ones who are actually making us better. Hello. Hello. I'm tired of us ruining the lives of people who are actually making a real difference in the streets, making a real difference in life. You see that we, the AFC, have already got somebody locked up. That's something tangible, and that's something that the AFC can take credit for permanently. We got Takesha Williams arrested. That was our platform that was on the news. That's us. It's not a me thing, it's a we thing. That's a togetherness thing. That's why I ask for people to support us. The only way we can make real difference in these streets is if we stop taking each other out. What happened to self-love? What happened to respect? What happened to Black empowerment? What happened to Black Lives Really Matters? What happened to Black Power? What happened to that? How can you come yap to me about Black Power, but we still out here shooting and killing each other in the streets over stupid shit? I'ma tell you, the reason why I believe that this dude who was a drug dealer killed this woman is because these niggas are emotional as hell. And to a point, I do think that councilman was probably right to a certain extent, thinking that this dude thought he owned this woman. And when he found out that she could do whatever she want, whenever she want, and however she want, with whomever she wants to do it with, he said, you know what? You gonna die for them words. You gonna die for those actions. He probably didn't have a father in his life, and shout out to all my fathers. I told you guys, if these young boys don't grow up with a father in the household, they're not going to see an example of what they should grow up into becoming. Therefore, they're not going to have any self-worth about themselves. And if they don't have any self-worth about themselves, when they go out into the world, when they go out into the schools, when they go out into the streets, when they come into your businesses and your neighborhoods and terrorize your streets, it's because they don't care about themselves. Therefore, they're not going to care about anybody else. They're not going to care about your property. They're not going to care about your kids. They're not going to care about your life. They're not going to care about your legacy. They're not going to care about your property. They're not going to care about your future, and they for damn sure are not going to care about your country. All Americans should step the fuck up and stand up against this bullshit that is ruining our country. Especially for those of us who have participated in bringing our country down, like myself. That's why I'm taking a stand to make a difference in this world on our platform and using my voice to try to enact change, real change that we can see on a day-to-day basis to make a difference for these babies who cannot speak for themselves, who cannot defend themselves against the tyranny of mom's drug-dealing ass boyfriend. What was this baby supposed to do to be able to defend herself against him? He's 24 years old. He's fast. He's fit. He's got all the testosterone and all the metabolism in the world. What is a 3-year-old supposed to do to be able to defend herself against that? But you know what? Mom didn't care. Mom wanted her some dick. Mom wanted to be pouty lips in front of the camera and be looking cute, and I still look good, and I can get any man that I want. That's what mom wanted. Mom wanted her self-pleasure. Mom wanted her self-pleasure. Mom only cared about herself. And because she only cared about herself, she has now become a statistic in the city of Baltimore and around the rest of America. Hashtag hood hoes love hood dick. And when you date thugs, you date what? When you date thugs, you date death. Do I feel sorry? No, I don't. I only feel sorry for the babies because they deserve a chance to grow up and be something great until we as parents, us as mothers, us as a community, us as fathers step up and take a stand against these wrong things. We're going to continue to have more numbers. They're going to continue to be statistics. And guess what? They're going to continue to keep building private prisons for niggas like this. They're going to continue to keep funding these prisons from school straight to prison. And for these women and these children, they're going to continue to keep digging graves. We got plenty of space on earth to continue to keep putting you in the ground. They got plenty of plastic caskets out there to just dump your black asses in. Since you don't care about yourselves, and apparently I guess black lives don't matter enough to black people to stop shooting and killing each other in the streets like dogs. I don't know how people expect for police to do better at their jobs when you take more money away from them, when you take money out of their pocket, when you take food off of their table, but I still want you to work just as hard. That's just dumb, and nobody at their job will take less money and do the exact same thing and work at the same level of production. It's not realistic and it's dumb, and we got to start thinking better as Americans. I thank you guys for listening to this story, and I want to say RIP to that unborn soul who I don't even know if the baby had a name yet, but RIP to that soul, and RIP, if I can get her picture up on the screen, RIP to that baby, Shaniya Gilmore. That's the picture I like right there. That is a beautiful, beautiful princess. And she deserves so much better. RIP, young sister, Shaniya Gilmore. She was only 3 years old and she deserves so much better. I thank you guys for listening with an open mind and an open heart. So with that being said, from my heart to yours, I love you guys and I hope you guys